Hello, everybody. Nicholas Ashbaugh here. Hope you're doing great. Just testing out some new equipment that I got here. So I want to, before I started the Sunday Collective tomorrow, I wanted to make sure that my camera's working. So I thought I would pop on for maybe a quick 15 to 20 minute collective, not mini sort of read here. What I was thinking that I could do is a past, present, future sort of read. And, we're coming upon a full moon, and I'll definitely go into that a little bit more tomorrow. So by the way, just a quick reminder for tune in. I'll be live tomorrow, Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And what I wanted to do tonight is to just kind of help you perhaps with something that you're trying to manifest. So we'll pull a past, present, and future spread on this. And then maybe I'll also just pull some cards coming from my guides. So tell me what you think. Hopefully you can see everything nicely here. I'm not going to pull the camera down. I still have to kind of get that set up done, but I got a better camera, so you should be able to see me and see the room a little bit better than you could before. So what we're going to do right now, I very rarely kind of get straight into a read, but I'm going to do a mini read like I would on Instagram here. And I think this is very nice for those of you on the other part of the world where this is kind of actually early in the morning instead of you having to kind of like catch it at a weird hour. So anyway, we're going to do past, present, future and take a look at advice for manifestation. And then I'm going to pull past, present, future for just general advice. We're going to do a quick mini read and just hang out a little bit and talk. Okay. So past, present, future. Let's see here. Again, this will be on something that you're trying to manifest. All right. So for the past, we have this lovely strength card coming through. Strength card was reversed. So one of the things that many of you will want to be focusing on right now is to take care of your physical self. A lot of times we focus so much on trying to help everybody else, trying to be sort of that pillar in everybody's life that we forget to take care of our own body, our own person. And this card is really just telling you to kind of be there for yourself. It's also reminding you that you are strong and you don't have to be kind of like beholden to anybody else. So when it comes to power struggles in your life, when it comes to people that are constantly sort of hovering in, as you try to manifest, you don't need permission to do what you're doing. You're on the right track. And really, this is sort of encouraging you to not lose focus of what's important. This, one of my favorite cards, strength, but when the card is reversed, this person can kind of come in and try to make you think a different way, try to make you act a different way. And so what you really want to do is get back into your own strength and think, all right, I'm doing this for a reason. I believe in myself. I would like to have support and permission from other people, but I don't need it. Okay. So you're strong enough on your own to not need the support from others, particularly when you're trying to manifest something. Okay. So that's from the past in the present right now. Okay. Looking at what's going on for just advice in bringing this into fruition. So this is something that you want to be mindful of, but this is something that you can do right here and right now. Don't give up. So we have the lovely Nine of Wands coming through, and it's basically saying you've come this far, you've worked this hard to get things going in the right direction, and you're nearly at the finish line. So whenever we see the lovely Nine of Wands, there's always a message of hope on this, to continue to work hard, to continue to work strong, and to sort of like not give up when you're at that final notch of the finish line. Okay, so with this Nine of Wands, I would say for you, it's the self-care that we saw with the strength card, I think is going to be really important. So first thing I would say is get a good night's sleep. Think again what it is you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it. And again, reminding yourself that you don't need permission or support. The Nine of Wands is saying, if you get kind of knocked down, if you don't quite get on the path that you want, you are going to kind of like brush yourself off and say, tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to finish what I started. So it's being very, very resolved to see something through to completion. Okay. Taking care of, also a lot of times when the Nine of Wands comes up, you could be suffering from like headaches or fatigue. There could be even sometimes you just kind of have this spiraling that you'll do in your head. So I want you to try not to kind of get into your headspace too much. Push to get to that finish line, but don't overthink. Okay. So far, so good. A lot of sort of inner strength cards coming through. Okay, Apollo is digging in his bed. He likes to do that from time to time. All right, the last card for manifestation is the Ten of Swords here reversed. So you're going to choose not to let people push your buttons. You're going to try to not kind of like also say something that you want to say just because it feels good, because once these swords have been spilled with the Ten of Swords, they're hard to put back together. So the big news or the big sort of piece of advice here is sometimes you got to just sort of like keep that within or not worry about it as much. And like, it's very, very, it sometimes can give you this momentary rush to just say what's on your mind. But I really encourage you right now to find the proper words, the proper time, and to make sure that it's worth it. It's worth it before you kind of pull that verbal trigger, right? So taking care of your physical body to make sure that you're strong and that you're ready for what's coming through, not giving up, not sort of giving up before you reach that finish line, and then making sure that you elevate the way that you're speaking, the way that you're acting. At the end of the day, we have to be stronger than the people around us. We have to kind of be a lot more communicative and elevate that speech. So I feel like you can do well. The one thing with the Ten of Swords is, again, you can't put the words back in the box. So try to find a way to either delay a confrontation or make sure that you have the necessary sort of preparation so that you can lean on facts and that you'll be all right. Let's bring Apollo up since he's doing all this crazy stuff in the background. Hey, buddy. We're going to say hi to everyone. He hasn't been combed yet, but you can see my little assistant here just kind of trying to get his attention, trying to sort of like say, hey, guys. Anyway, for all those that asked, he was just back there making his bed comfortable. This is something that a lot of times terriers like to do. Okay. All right. So I'd like to now just pull a few cards of advice for you. We're going to keep this really short. Very rarely do I do readings that are just like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but I do them on Instagram. So I'm just experimenting with something new here, just popping on because I felt like it. It's not always announced. It's a good reason for you to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon to make sure that you don't miss something like this. All right. So this is just general advice, kind of like when I pull the final card, things that you need to know that the guides want to tell you. Apollo's so funny. It's like, Dad, what are you doing? I'm going to keep moving this bed around so that I'm comfortable and we're okay. All right. So let's see where you're at and what the messages are from Spirit tonight. Okay, so previously we were looking at manifestation. Now this is just advice on being centered, on having a great day, on kind of like getting over anything that you might be dealing with. Because it's a full moon, by the way, it wouldn't be unusual if you did have an argument or if you are feeling a little fatigued or if things have been a little intense. So this is going to help us, and we'll go even more in depth tomorrow when I do my live collective. So some things that you can do to stay on the right track here. We have the Five of Cups, which is a shift in perspective. So many of us are just kind of at this point in our life where, you're kind of looking at, sometimes it's about comparing yourself to others. Sometimes it's about wishing you could go back and replay, redo, or fix something in the past. I always like to remind people that in this card, there's two cups upright usually. So you have a hidden Two of Cups. There's a partnership or a support opportunity that's right there in the corner. So sometimes we feel like everything's gone wrong, but the universe is actually aligning us to a better path. So I'd like you to see everything in your life right now as this sort of grand setup in a good way from the universe. Basically, it's propping you into higher ground, into a better path. So if you got rejected, if somebody didn't sort of come through and then you had to find a different contact or a different conduit, all of these rejections, these missed opportunities, these little hiccups were ostensibly the universe coming through to say, hey, I've got something better in store for you. Don't give up hope. So reclaim your hope and decide, I'm ready to receive something better, right? And that's basically what this card is saying. Love yourself, love what you're doing, and do something that really brings you a sense of passion. I feel like I've been saying this a lot in all signs over the past couple of months, but the Ace of Cups coming through to give you permission to basically just be happy, to follow your heart. And yes, for some of you that have been working really hard, or like the most important relationship is the relationship that we have with ourselves. So for many of you, this is a time for you to prioritize that relationship and also the key relationships in your life, whether it's your children, your partner, whatever. But relationships play an important part in this point of your life right now. So please take some time to be happy, to do some things with the people that you love, and to not take for granted today. I was talking a little bit, I think in Scorpio was the last sign that I read for, about how, sometimes we just think that we have forever and ever and ever, but anything can happen. And we want to live every day like it is the gift that it is. Remember that you have a lot of power to change the needle, move in the direction that you need to move. So often we put that power in our partner, our boss, our friends, where really we have that power. So this is about listening to your heart, trusting your heart, and allowing this to really be the central compass in your life. Okay? By the way, it's a really good card showing that for some of you that have been waiting, there is some positive news when it comes to relationships, when it comes to just being generally more happy. Okay? And finally, oh my gosh, you can't make it up. With tarot, I love to change. For any of you that wonder why I read with so many different decks, it's because particularly if I do an impromptu like this, where I kind of rotate between 3 or 4, what will happen is the same card comes up again and again, reversed as well. So this is a sort of elevated 10 of Swords. We see the woman here walking on to towards a greener pastures, brighter day. Instead of seeing the swords, we see the beautiful kind of ravens or crows above her, and she's not giving into that sort of energy. She's not going to be beholden to other people. And I was listening to another sort of motivational speaker the other day talking, and I really liked what they had to say about not meeting people in a lower energy. Quietest Revolution. I was actually listening to her the other day, and it was a good piece of advice. So if you got your mind collected, you're sort of in a really good space, and someone comes in out of left field and they try to trigger you, they try to sort of get the best of you, or they just are projecting because they're in a place of pain. What you want to do is hold your space and hold your frequency and wait until they're ready to come into that frequency. Because if you meet them in a lower frequency, gosh, it takes you out of orbit, right? And it takes so long to get back into orbit. It's really not worth that kind of energy, I don't think. So my advice to you would be, you've worked hard to get where you're at. You've worked hard to, for many of you, just be happier and more sort of stable and really kind of like accomplishing what you've done. So if someone else comes through and they're trying to knock you off of that sort of energetic high, you're going to stay in that higher space and wait. So the 10 of Swords is not, it's not a guarantee. This is an option that you're going to opt not to take. This card was reversed, so it's saying walking away from that lower frequency. We're going to actually embrace what we see in this card versus what I was seeing in the Afro Goddess deck here. So these are like two very different outcomes. One is walking away, and the other one is sort of succumbing to it. So here you're succumbing to it, here you're walking away from it. So it's a lot nicer to just sort of say, not today, and kind of move on and let that go, right? So that's the sort of general advice to be in a good space. This full moon in particular is bringing up stuff that we need to resolve. So it's going to be completely normal if you do have like a little bit of a flare up or an argument or feeling like you're kind of inflamed a little bit. So the choice is, do I stay there? Do I hold on to the grudge? Do I continue to exist in that? Or will I try to diffuse it, walk away, maybe even have some empathy and try to kind of like bring it into a higher space? The latter is what you want to do. Okay. So someone's asking about like just frequencies. And by the way, I'll try to kind of like make it just a everyday term. So when I'm talking about frequencies, it's really about how you react to things. Stress is a choice. Sometimes it's a reaction to external stimuli. So what this is really encouraging you to do is to react differently. If we react differently, the outcome can be shifted. It can be changed. And so I'm just encouraging some of you to think before speaking, think before acting, change the channel internally a little bit. So if someone's really on your mind or driving a little bit crazy, then focus on something else for a little bit and see if it gives you more perspective. But higher frequency is trying to be supportive, trying to be empathic, trying to be optimistic, trying to be also capable of figuring out like a solution-based approach rather than pointing fingers. And so if someone's in that sort of pointing finger mode, then they haven't really kind of looked at their own accountability and their own piece of that. So hopefully that helps. Okay. So before we wrap up today, because I'm going to do a nice long reading tomorrow, I just wanted to hop on and see if my camera was working. It looks like it is. I'll still have some tweaks, and hopefully you like the higher sort of quality of the camera, but I'll play around with it tomorrow. Let's just do a quick card here for health, wealth, love, and destiny, and we'll wrap up for tonight, because I'm gonna, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we'll see which topic you choose. And if, by the way, if you like impromptu reads like this, please in the comments later, let me know. Maybe I'll pop on YouTube more than I do and just do a quick 20-minute one, which is digestible for all of you, because I know I can talk for a while. But, you know, I have a lot that comes through. And this is not as structured. This is just me in the flow. Okay. So for health, we have the card of house and home here with the Queen of Pentacles. So it's going to be really important for you to make sure that you're comfortable in the space that you're living in. Clean up your house, organize your office, clean your computer as well. Basically take time to make sure that everything is sort of in the proper working order. This is also about nurturing yourself. So some of you may have just put yourself in the back burner because you're supporting your children, your family, your friends, your colleagues. So Queen of Pentacles comes through when it's time to actually nurture yourself, take care of yourself, and it's worth it. And it also brings about more abundance and more fertility, as we see with this lovely little rabbit in the corner, right? So when I say like abundance and fertility, some people will freak out sometimes. Yeah, the focus gets a little bit off on this. When it comes to abundance and fertility, the way that this can actually be looked at is the Midas touch when it comes to projects that you're working on. It can also be finally feeling like you're just a little bit more productive. You have a little bit more energy. So splurge and treat yourself. Do something kind for yourself. You're going to see a nice return on that energy later. All right. So for health, taking care of the environment, taking care of you, nurturing yourself. That's the number one thing here. It's a pretty positive card overall. So we'll kind of leave it at that. When it comes to wealth, it looks like some of you are going to decide to change things around. We have the Page of Pentacles here. The Page of Pentacles card is reversed. So for many of you, this is about taking something that you already have and deciding, I'm going to put this elsewhere. I'm going to move this around a little bit, right? So this can be scary because sometimes it's so much more just sort of like predictable. And I guess for some of us, it's even comforting to just know that if I do this, it will be like this. But for those of you that are willing to take a leap of faith, this could be deciding to go back to school. This could be deciding to make a big purchase, deciding to sell something. But I'm looking at sort of the movement of resources and possibly even self to something else. So you're moving things around, you're juggling things around a little bit. And it looks to me like this is a positive shift for you. You're basically taking what you've created and deciding, all right, I've done this. It's my right to decide to do something with that. So that's fine. I do want you to kind of get comfortable with respect to what your finances look like. So whenever we see Pentacles cards like this, there's a definite suggestion to be more aware of limits, to be more aware of goals, to also kind of look at any debts. This is the end of the year. It's a great time to kind of figure out, how am I going to get rid of any sort of debts or obligations and clean and clear out that sort of balance line. Okay. So finding a balance, because that card is upside down, is going to be important too. But many of you might just be thinking of taking something and putting it into another part of your life, and it looks good. That's really what that card is about. Okay. Let's take a look at love card, the love card, which I read not just as I'm in love with this person or romantically speaking. This is also a card of relationships across the board. So one thing that we're seeing here is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant card is really reminding you that people are kind of looking up to you, FYI. You may not always be comfortable in that position of, sort of being the leader or being in power. But what this card is saying is that this is your moment to shine. Okay. So if you're ready to shine, if you're ready to step into that spotlight, then that's good. However, you might be dealing with people that are conservative, people that have difficulty with change. So what you want to really do in this moment in time when it comes to wealth, career, and just overall purpose is to say, okay, I know that change can be scary, but I have a backup plan. I have a sort of safety net, and I believe that it's going to work out okay. So do your homework, share your homework with other people to help alleviate them and remind them that without change, the growth isn't really possible. Risk is a necessary piece to just kind of that evolution that we all need to go through. Okay. So deciding how you're going to deal with structures and people that are conservative or stuck in a certain way of doing things, that's going to be really, really important. Okay. I'm so glad you guys like the quality of the camera. I did my research and I'm glad you enjoyed. I think it is better. There's a little bit of a focal moment where you go in and out of the cards, but I think it's worth it so you can see it. All right, we've got the Hermit card in reverse. Let's pull her up right because she's fantastic. I like that we have a really modern Hermit here. So this particular Hermit almost looks like she's looking at her laptop, right? So for some of you, you might be working on something really, really important and you're keeping it kind of under wraps, right? So the question here is, when are you going to emerge and be the star that you are? The Hermit always has a star that's hidden. Here she's wearing it right around her neck. I'll kind of pan in on it one more time. So you can see the star is right there around her neck. Usually the Hermit is holding the star kind of in a lantern. So you're holding something near and dear to your heart. And when I look at this card, it looks like there's a kind of like an announcement that's going to happen in the future here. So destiny here, health, wealth, love, and destiny. So for destiny, I guess for you, it's getting comfortable with the visibility, getting comfortable with not feeling like you're exposed, understanding that the Hermit's already done the requisite work within. And oftentimes the Hermit's the last one to recognize it. So we're recognizing that you've done the work and that the time is now. And so since we're in a full moon, it's the perfect time to release things. So show up tomorrow and we'll talk more about it. We'll do a meditation for that. Okay. So some of you are asking about Tuesday and other things. What I would say for you is please watch tomorrow. We're going to do a 7-day forecast. I'll spend a little bit of time with focal length and all that later. I just wanted to see if I could actually get the camera to come through and make sure that, yeah, I can see the blipping myself here. I just wanted to give it a test before I did the Sunday Collective. So I thought it would be fun. It would be great to see everybody. And a reminder again that I will be back tomorrow. Because I'm here, because I can do it, let's end with a final question. So if there's one thing that you kind of need help with today, think about it. And I'm going to pull a card right now. And then we are going to wrap up with this. Okay. Yes, that's what we're doing right now. It's 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow that I will be doing. It's the same time as always. You can go to my main page for more information. And if Maria's here, she can put that link out there, but I'll do it at the end. Okay. So final question. Yes, no, just checking in and seeing what's going on. All right. We have the Tower card in reverse. The Tower card in reverse is basically saying, what I really like about this one is it's the removal of masks. So a lot of times we just have to the hardest thing for us internally sometimes is just to let go of the mask that we're wearing for others. Everything that we've been talking about has been about revealing yourself, about stepping into the light, because we had the Hermit, and we were talking about the star energy that was a part of that. So this particular card is reminding you that this is the time for you to remove the mask and to let go. The reversal of this card is saying that for many of you, there is going to need to be some reorganization in your life. So you might have to decide, if I want this to happen, I might have to move. I might have to completely change around my relationship with my finances, etc. So there's some big changes that are necessary to make the sort of shift that you want. For some of you with this card, it's also saying, get things sorted out. When the Tower card comes through a lot of times in your environment, it can show things that are chaotic, things that are kind of in between. It can also show that you're trying to find a place that feels like home. So if you're in this sort of in-between mode, your biggest challenge right now is going to be How can I be comfortable with the energy of change, with a little bit of chaos, with a little bit of ambiguity? So there's some comfort with change, I think, is the main thing here that you're going to have to focus on. As a yes, no, I would say get a little bit more organization and a little bit more detail on everything, because a tower card in a yes, no means not quite yet, or be prepared for the trade-off. Reversed means you've got to kind of reorganize or rethink. Okay. But overall, I like a tower, especially a reverse tower. Upright tower can be a surprise, but a reverse tower is just saying, hey, I got some things to do, and I'm willing to kind of like take the heat for the changes that are coming through in my life. Okay. And I really like that we see a mask on this one. So it is going to be about like letting go of that mask. Okay. That, my friends, is everything for tonight. I'm going to try to work on the focus stuff, so tomorrow it's a little bit easier to see me, but the quality is here, and I know I can kind of fidget around with the settings tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. I did see that we had some folks that gave back, so I always like to end with gratitude. Before I do that, because people asked about upcoming schedule, let me just put a link here so that you have it. And here's a link to my website. And to the all the information for where to find me on social, etc. And I can give you a direct link to my schedule stuff for tomorrow. So here's that as well. And if you need that, here you go. And give me one moment just to say thanks to everybody that gave back tonight. I didn't expect anything. I was just popping on to say hi and test out the camera. So thank you so much for giving me a moment. I didn't want to go live for a big reading without at least giving this a shot, but I did want to use the new camera tomorrow if I could. By the way, all of the contributions you gave me helped me get this. I got a new camera and a new lens, so you can see me better and you can see the cards. So I always like to reinvest in the channel, and I think this is like one of the biggest and best investments I could do. So thank you to everyone that gave back. The quality that you're seeing is a direct result of that. So much thanks. All right, so to the folks that gave a little bit tonight, I just want to say thank you, but I need my glasses for this. Let me see where I put my, here they are. Okay, so thank you so much. Again, unexpected that we had a great show out tonight, because I was just coming to say hello. So thank you to the Autism Guru, to Fistian, Divine Whispers with Kayleen, Ria Coleman, AB, Marianne Palermo, Regina, good to see you as always, Jordan Gloss, Luzli Rodriguez, Rosemary, Doreen Garby, Cindy Toshik, Touche, good to see you as well, Robin Redman, Amy Kemp, let's see, Ashley Hool, or Hooley, Joseph Amos, Blessed 1111, Susan Adams Worrow, Cass, and S. Priya. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this, and more to come. Yeah, I'd be happy to do these occasionally if I just feel like it. It's something that's much more like TikTok and Instagram like for me, but I've always wanted to sort of like just drop in on YouTube and see how it worked. All right, and thank you to Triple Moon Goddess 11111. I see you as well. All right, everyone, have a blessed evening. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be looking at whatever topic you vote on. So if you haven't voted already, go to my community tab and vote. If you're a member or a Patreon supporter, you get 2 votes. You can do it either on the members only post or on the Patreon post as well. And I tabulate all of them and decide what I'm going to do tomorrow based on your votes. So plus we're in a full moon, so I want to kind of look at that energy as well. All right, everyone, much love and light. Thank you for showing up. Thanks, Maria, again, for your kind of like a quick and impromptu appearance tonight. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a great evening, and see you bright and early. All right, guys, bye-bye.